Fisk doubts with his wife, Murdock's confrontation. In the trial to save an innocent vigilante known as the White Tiger. Episode 3 begins with Matt Murdock going to visit Hector Ayala in his cell. Hector is a vigilante known as White Tiger. He unknowingly killed a cop while trying to save Nicky Torres. Hector shares with Matt memories of his home in Puerto Rico. Matt promises to get him out and makes sure he sees the beach again and reunites with his family. Late at night, the scene changes to two men going to deliver some illegal goods. This is a business deal between Luca and Victor's men at Red Hook. Unfortunately, after they're stopped, they get brutally murdered. The next day, while having breakfast together, Vanessa brings up an auction she plans to use to whitewash millions of money. But Wilson tells her that he has a plan in mind and he is reaching for higher goals. They get too interrupted by Sheila, who tells Wilson about the homicide in Red Hook, which was supposed to become a prime location in the future for tourists. Vanessa figures out, without her supervision, the five men are turning on each other. Wilson mocks them, referring to them as rats. He knows he is a kingpin, and the gang's fight will not do him anything. But Vanessa disagrees, telling him that once they are done killing each other, the last person left will come for Fisk. Not bothered by this, Fisk tells Vanessa that violent lifestyle isn't their concern anymore. But Wilson's bruised knuckles definitely says otherwise. It's a foreshadow to his shady kingpin reign. Meanwhile, in a restroom, Matt washes his bruised hands. But Officer Powell approaches him, addressing Matt as a blind lawyer who can fight. Powell tries to threaten Matt, saying he's just interfering in a police investigation. But Matt doesn't care because he knows Powell tampered with a witness. In the court hearing, officers Powell give his testimony, but he tailors in a way so Hector can get convicted. Hector starts to rage, but Matt tells him don't react. Officer Powell continued lying. Hector just started pounding him out of nowhere and pushed his partner into a speeding train. He paints the picture in a way that Hector killed the officer in cold blood. Matt began to question him about knowing a man named Nicky Torres. But to cover his dirty tracks, officers Powell lied about not knowing him. But Matt is persistent and keeps pressuring him with questions. Officer Powell is clearly lying about the fact that he doesn't know Nicky Torres. Matt goes back to his seat, and he overhears one of the officers nearby informing his colleagues that Nicky Torres cannot testify in court. Meanwhile, Chair goes out to get Officer Torres from their hideout, but their drive to the court is interrupted by some cops. Meanwhile at the court, Kirsten is frantically panicking because their last hope is nowhere to be seen. In a last-minute plot twist, Nicky Torres safely enters the courtroom to testify. During the hearing, Torres informed everyone that 18 months ago, he got pinched for dealing. He revealed to be an informant, but as he is about to confess, Nicky Torres suddenly changes his mind and lies. He is intimidated by NYPD officers who are at the trial. This pisses Matt off because things aren't looking good for Hector. The scene changes to five men arguing about the truck murder that occurred earlier. Wilson had sent Cashman to meet Luca Victor Carlo and Devin to tell the members of the five families to tone down their nightly violent activities. After that, he orders Luca to pay Victor $1.8 million as compensation for getting his people killed. Luca gets angry, thinking he's being treated anyhow, and says if Fisk wanted him to do something, he should tell it to his face instead of sending an errand boy. Matt and Kirsten are talking with Cherry on what to do next after the lies Nicky had told the judge earlier today. Unfortunately, since their number one witness has lied, there's nothing they can really do, except they just let Hector to speak the truth of what happened, and pray that the jury is open-minded enough to listen to him. Fisk and Vanessa continue to attend their couples therapy session with Dr. Glenn, and at the courthouse, Hector talks about what really happened on that night. He said as he was returning home from a new flat that he wanted to purchase, so that his family could move out of his sister's place. He saw Nicky Torres getting harassed by Powell and Shanahan. Hector tried to stop them, but everything happened so fast. Powell and Shanahan tried to overpower him, and Shanahan tripped onto the tracks and died. But in a shocking plot twist, Matt has no other option left. So he uses this opportunity to reveal to the jury and the rest of the court that Hector is actually the White Tiger. His actions throw the court into complete chaos, and the judge calls the lawyers. Matt has violated the agreement between him, the judge, and the jury. He says Matt has swayed the jury and leaves. Although Cooper warns Matt that he thinks he has helped the jury in Hector's favor, but he has actually placed a target on Hector's back, much worse than the one he had. Afterwards, Matt goes to talk with Hector, but Hector is upset, telling Matt that he shouldn't have done that, because that wasn't his truth to tell. Matt tries to convince him that what good would it have been if he was convicted? He wouldn't be able to put the suit on anymore. But Hector disagrees, telling Matt that the name White Tiger is more than just a mere suit, but it is calling. The tension is higher in the following day as Matt decides to bring in people who have been saved by White Tiger to the stand, which includes different witnesses and police reports. Matt tries to help Hector prove that what he tried to do that night at the subway station was an act of heroism, which he performed despite not having a suit and his superpowered amulet, and Shanahan's death was just an unfortunate accident, however. But on the other hand, Hauber tries to twist the mind of the jury against Hector by saying bad people can do good things, as well as good people can do bad things, which is the case of Hector. Tries to convince him even more by describing just how gruesome Shanahan's death was. But luckily for Hector, after a suspenseful moment from the court, he is found not guilty, while Fisk watching the news. So just then he tells Daniel about another meeting with B.B. Urich. Later, Matt celebrates his court win with Heather. Using a bottle of drink, they only open when they won a case. The scene then shifts to Wilson Fisk in an interview with B.B. And unfortunately, Fisk isn't happy that the jury was in favor of Hector. He blames the court proceeding for allowing a mass vigilante and a murderer to roam the streets, while a veteran of the NYPD lies dead. But in a parallel scene while Fisk is complaining to B.B., Hector wears his white tiger suit and goes to patrol as a vigilante. But unfortunately, he is lured and he goes to help someone and is then shot in the head. The murderer wears a Punisher logo, hinting at a deeper foreshadowing of the cops. The episode then comes to an end. If you enjoyed today's recap, kindly subscribe for more episodes next week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.